All right, what's going on? It's Bobby Skinner, Talking Giants, doing another draft film breakdown. Today we're looking at Cincinnati cornerback Ahmad Gardner, brought to you by SeatGeek. I'm in love with this guy. He's the best corner I've watched over the past few years. He went to the combine and ran a 4.4 140. He's 6'3", 190 pounds with these long 33.5-inch arms, and he plays to every inch of his body. I mean, he's a tall, lengthy corner out on the outside, and he just really excels in press man, jamming up, getting into guys. Teams were afraid to throw at him. Like, there was one coach who was quoted as saying, like, hey, we just threw like one of our worst wide receivers on him because there's no way we were going to throw him all game. So we didn't want to waste one of our better wide receivers on him. But we're going to go through the Alabama and the Notre Dame game. In Alabama, they threw it at him one time. And when he was lined up with Jameson Williams, he held up all game long, even though it wasn't a ton of reps in Alabama. Like to run the ball a lot in that game. So I'm really, really in love with this guy. If you want to see other draft breakdowns, go to the Talking Football channel. I have the link in the description. But I think this guy has a really good chance to be a New York Giants. I'm putting it on the Talking Giants channel. So let's get into the film. And first, what I want to go through is I want to go through him versus Jameson Williams, and then we'll go through the targets that he had versus Alabama and then Notre Dame. So got him lined up top here. You see how he just operates really well as that trailer in the back hip. Good release. You can clearly tell he wants Jameson Williams to get an inside release on this play. Gets the hand. Hips are nice. Bam, sits on it. We're there. That's good coverage. That's good coverage because when you're playing against a speedy guy like Jameson Williams, I don't know if that QB's comfortable throwing that when that coverage is tight as like that. You're used to having way better coverage on those type of plays. So, like, really good rep versus Jameson Williams. This next rep up top was probably his worst rep of the two games. Got a little out and up. He's already playing off, which he usually doesn't. Turns his hips well with this out. Like, really turns his hips really well. And then instead of, keeping those feet moving in the back pedal, kind of stumbles out of this break and then tries to get hands on him. So again, not horrible. Like, he's there. But you could get touched up for that penalty, but I don't know if that's ticky-tack. But again, like on what I thought was his worst rep, he recovers really well. And obviously the speed and length helps out a lot with that. And then there is that target. Sorry, it's targeted twice versus Alabama. So recovers. I mean, he's there at the throw. Trying to throw a back shoulder throw. He's there. Next rep down here versus Jameson. Navigating what looked like to be a rub route. You see it good. Watch his feet. Bam. As soon as he gets that Jameson gets that inside leverage, turn the hips right on him, breaking with him. Just really able to mirror in coverage, and then actually makes the tackle on Bryce Young as he scrambles towards the end zone. This was his second target versus Alabama. This was towards the end of the game, lined up right here. Run an inside release corner route. So, he's releasing inside. So they're passing this off. Good coverage. And he just kind of, I don't know what happened here. Like, I have no clue what's going on at the end of this. But overall, it's like, okay, you got this inside release. Good. Get some hands on him. Flip the hips. Inside him. That's exactly where you want to be versus that corner route, especially when you have this safety over the top. He just kind of gets lost on the play. Like, I don't know exactly what happened. Cincinnati's bringing the heat. So I don't know what maybe he's banking on something, but you see he just I don't know what happens on this. Like, I don't know how to explain that. But overall, good coverage. This was the only catch he allowed versus Alabama and Notre Dame. So get ready for this. This is big. Remember, this is the only catch he allowed versus Alabama and Notre Dame. Nice 5-yard gain. How do we get here? It's a drag route. A very hard route to cover, especially when it's being thrown at this point of the field. Like, it's very hard to cover. But he does get beat on the release. He's in a trailer position, but he's got good ability to recover. But, they're running mesh. They're getting, they're making this all muddy. And he gets released. So that's your one catch allowed. 5 yards versus a drag on mesh where he gets picked. That's the one catch allowed he had. Here's his other target versus Notre Dame, lined up down here. This is a beautiful rep. Pass breakup. How do we get here? And again, watch his feet. This receiver's want the inside release. So bam, he's there with you. He's got hands on you. And then he's getting back inside leverage. He knows what's coming. He knows a cross is coming. Get back that inside leverage. And able to get in front of that ball and get a pass breakup. We'll see it from the other view. But that's just, I'm not some cornerback expert, but to be able to get back inside level versus these crossers, when you're playing man coverage, these are man beating reps. These crossers are man coverage beating reps. And he's still able to get it. Maybe gets away with a little bit of a tug, but not enough to notice. It doesn't affect the receiver, to be honest. Bam, get a mitt on the ball. I don't even know if I would consider this a target right here. They're playing zone. He's playing these flats in the red zone. And this quarterback just throws a duck. He gets an interception. But got to throw that. I don't even view that as a target. But man gets an interception in a game. You got to show it. Good stuff. Good job catching the ball. We've seen good corners not catch those balls. So I want to go through some of the way he jams guys up, like especially towards the sideline. So here he is at the top. Again, this is a two-man route. Sometimes when you see these, like, is this an outside release, essentially just a route to just clear things out or to clear a safety out? But this is a two-man route. And I know the QB is predetermined on, pre-snap where he's going with this ball, but still. Get those long hands on him, get him jammed up, keep your feet moving, and just pressing him, jamming him into that sideline. I mean, just ruining reps for some of these receivers. Ruining these reps. These wide receivers are getting killed in film the next day because of reps like this. Here versus Bama. Again. Bam. Put those hands on him. Put those hands on him. Force that outside release. Don't allow him to stack and get on top of you. Forcing him towards the sideline. Beautiful stuff. Again. Here we go again. Just ruining releases. Get those long arms on somebody. You want an inside release? Bam, I'm there. I'm there. Oh, you're going back outside? Let me get those hands on you. Let me force you out to that sideline. Just beautiful stuff. And it gets into wide receivers' heads. It really does. Want some proof that it gets into wide receivers' heads? Here's Jameson Williams. Now, this is the backside of a play. So I don't know what Jameson Williams' duties are on this rep, but I sure as hell know it isn't to try and pick a fight with a corner. I know it's not that. This matchup was, if you're a draft nerd going into this Alabama versus Cincinnati game, the matchup was Jameson Williams versus Ahmad Gardner. We didn't really get it. They tried to keep Jameson away from Gardner. When they were lined up, Gardner did an awesome job. Gardner won it. It wasn't a ton of reps, but Gardner does win this battle versus a guy who a lot of people view as the best wide receiver in the class. not to be able to, line them up and get one catch out of it. Like, that's really impressive. Here again, this is a man beater rep in the red zone. This is a lot of times these turn into 6 points. That crosser. Wide receiver does get a clean release on this. Fight back for inside leverage. Right in that hip. Doesn't maybe get the inside leverage that he wants, but he's right in that hip. Right in that hip to make a play versus a fast wide receiver. Again, Bryce Young didn't even want to look at his way. QBs did not want to look his way. Here, lined up at the bottom. Press. Forcing an outside release. Forcing him to get down to the sideline. Mirroring him. Not having to be in a dead sprint to keep up with these wide receivers. He stops. Bam, watch me flip my hips around. I'm stopping. Just a dominant corner, a shutdown corner. Like I'm not the greatest judge of cornerback talent, but I love this cat. This is 3rd and 5 right here. Huge rep, 3rd and 5. Jam him up. Get those hands inside there. All right, you want to get physical? I'll get physical with you. I'm here with you, man. You know what QB's never going to throw a curl route? Is when you're wrestling with the corner. That's never going to happen. You're never going to get the ball thrown your way on 3rd and 5 when you're wrestling the cornerback. Before we get into this last rep, this breakdown is brought to you by SeatGeek. It's the best ticketing app. I waited to do this late, so hang in with me. Brought to you by SeatGeek, the best ticketing app you can find, whether it's sports, concerts, whatever you're looking for. They have the seats, and sports or live events are back, baby. So go over on the SeatGeek, use promo code GIANTS for $20 off your first order. They have everything. They have the great deal score, all types of good stuff from SeatGeek. We love SeatGeek. Use promo code GIANTS for $20 off your first order. All right, last play. Again, just jamming up versus a curl. Forcing him inside. Guess who the QB's never going to throw it to? The curl route that got forced inside to where this linebacker is now underneath your zone. That's who he's never going to throw to. So, man, I really love this guy. And again, I don't like to break down a lot of cornerback tape because there's a lot more to it than I am comfortable really breaking down all the time. But it's impossible to not see how good this player is. It really isn't. You look against the best competition, and he gave up one catch versus Notre Dame and versus Alabama, who had Jamison Williams. He gave up one catch on a drag route with pick plays in it, running mesh for 5 yards. That's what he gave it. He had a pass breakup. He had an interception. He could have had another interception if he didn't get lost on that corner route versus Alabama. So I'm really, really impressed with this player. So like and subscribe to the channel. Check out everything. Obviously, we have a lot of draft content out. Subscribe to the Talking Football channel for more breakdowns like this. Appreciate you guys. See you on the next one. And if your team got this, if the Jets got them at 4, good job for you guys. I'm a little excited because maybe Kayvon's there for the Giants, but this is a draft pick to be really excited about.